Are you craving a restaurant quality meal that's both delicious and nutritious? Get ready to elevate your dinner game with our mouth-watering herb-crusted salmon and creamy cauliflower low-carb mash. Welcome back to your longevity channel. I'm Dr. Jonette, your longevity expert. Today, we are diving into a recipe that's not only packed with flavor, but also loaded with nutrients that will support you on your longevity journey. This is herb-crusted salmon with cauliflower mash, perfect low-carb indulgence. In this video, you are going to discover the following things: how to perfectly crust your salmon with a delicious, fragrant blend of herbs and my special longevity seasoning mix. For the longevity seasoning, scroll down to the link below. You will also discover the secret to creating a silky smooth cauliflower mash, some tips for balancing the flavors as well as the textures in your dish, and why salmon is such an awesome food for longevity, as well as how it can contribute to a healthier, longer life. So let's get cooking. You will want to begin by preheating your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our cauliflower cooking. While our cauliflower is cooking, then we'll prep our asparagus as well as our salmon. We're going to start by using about 1 medium head of cauliflower. I have one of these steamer baskets that I put in my kettle along with about probably a ½ inch of water. I like to steam my vegetables rather than cook them actually down in the water. And these steamer baskets work great. If you go to my website or scroll down to the links below, you'll see a link that'll take you out to where you can purchase one of these steamer baskets for you cooking your vegetables as well. I've put this in there and now I want to put a cover on it. But before I do that, I want to add some salt to them. Not a lot, but just a little salt to my cauliflower here. And the cover goes on, and we're going to go ahead and put it on the burner of our stove and get it cooking. You want your cauliflower to cook for probably about 10 minutes until it's nice and soft. While it's cooking, let's go ahead and prepare our salmon. To prepare our salmon for roasting, I have a little roasting pan here that I've put some parchment in, and it helps with easy cleanup. So for your simple smart tip, when you're roasting vegetables or meat or something like that in a roasting pan, make your cleanup easier and add a piece of parchment to the bottom of your pan. I've patted it dry with a paper towel, and we're going to go ahead and season it with some of my longevity mix. This is on my website, and if you search for Mediterranean longevity seasoning and spice mix, you'll be able to find this seasoning and spice. I like to kind of pat it in and flip my salmon over and put a little bit on the bottom. Even though there's skin on the bottom, I like to season it just a little bit as well with my Mediterranean seasoning mix. And I'm going to go ahead and put it right here on this grate in my roasting pan, and it's now ready to go into the oven. We're going to set that aside and go ahead and prepare our asparagus for roasting as well. To prepare the asparagus for roasting, I like to drizzle it with a little extra virgin organic olive oil, kind of mix that around a little bit so that the asparagus is all nicely coated with that. Season it again with a little salt, a little pepper. Mix it around good and get it in a roasting pan as well. You're going to cook both your asparagus and your salmon in the oven for about the same amount. Your asparagus, depending upon how thick it is, needs about 8 to 10 minutes. And the salmon, depending upon how thick it is, needs about 8 to 10 minutes. Our asparagus is not on the thinner side, so I'll probably put it in a little bit after the salmon because the salmon is on the thicker side. I'm gonna go ahead and put this over here by the salmon so that both of them are ready to go into the oven at the same time. If you're loving this video so far, don't miss out on more delicious health-boosting meals. Hit your subscribe button now and join our community of food lovers who are passionate about eating well and living their best lives. Before that salmon goes into the oven, we need to sear it a little bit and put a nice crust on it. We'll turn that on to about medium high, and I am going to sear that salmon. We'll let it get hot here. Put a little olive oil in it. We're gonna just sear the salmon for a little bit on both sides. That's getting hot. That salmon smells delicious already. As soon as I put it into the pan, I could smell all that delicious longevity seasoning mix that I put on it. You don't want to cook the salmon for very long. You just want to get a little bit of a nice brown coat on it. I like to use cast iron skillets, and if you don't have a cast iron skillet in your cooking supplies, I highly recommend getting a cast iron skillet. Oh, look at that beautiful crust. The smell is so yummy. They work great on induction burners as well as regular burners, all different types of burners, and their cleanup is super easy. If you scroll down to the links below, there's also a link there for where you can go out and purchase. We're ready to take that off. That went fast. Let's get that out of the way here. That already smelling so delicious. Take a look at that beautiful piece of salmon with all that longevity seasoning mix on it. Now we're gonna put a nice herb crust on top of it. So I'm starting with 2 tablespoons of almond flour. You could use a whole grain mixed flour if you aren't sensitive to gluten, but I wanted to make this gluten-free for those of you that are gluten-free. And to that, you're gonna add a couple of tablespoons of chopped fresh parsley, a teaspoon of chopped fresh thyme, and a tablespoon of chopped fresh dill. All of these seasons perfectly complement your salmon. You can try different seasonings, but this is one of my favorite seasonings for making this herb-crusted salmon mix. And I'm also adding the zest from a lemon to this. Give it a little bit of the lemon spiciness. Those oils that get released when you zest the lemon always make not only your house smell so clean and fresh, but they're just such a nice fresh smell when you're cooking as well. So I'm gonna just kind of press this herb mixture on top of our salmon fillets here. Get a nice herby crust on top of it. And then it's finally gonna be ready to pop into our oven. And the nice part about it is we've got that nice parchment under there, so I don't have to worry about making a mess in the pan. Because when it's baked, I just take that parchment out and clean up is super easy. Probably have a little more crust than we need. Now it's ready to go into the oven. So we're gonna set it over here and check to see how our cauliflower is coming along. It still needs a little bit of time, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the salmon in the oven and set a timer for 2 minutes. Let's go ahead and get ready to mash up our cauliflower. I use a Breville food processor to mash up the cauliflower. Again, scroll down below to get a link to take you out to where you can also purchase a Breville food processor. So let's check that cauliflower. That's perfect. It's nice and soft. The other reason I like this steamer basket is that it makes it easy to get your cauliflower or whatever vegetable you're steaming out of the pan without having to either drain the water or fish it out of the water. Take it out of here, and I'm transferring it into the Breville food processor with the cutting blade attached. And my timer for the first 2 minutes just went off. So I'm gonna pop the asparagus into the oven as well and set it for another 8 minutes. So to the cauliflower, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of almond milk. And we're going to just pulse it a few times till it's nice and creamy and smooth. I like to check it after a couple of pulses. That's looking pretty good. Let's scrape down the sides just a little bit. Get it just a little bit creamier. Let's check it again. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. I think that looks like perfectly mashed cauliflower. Beautiful. You can see it looks perfect. Nice and creamy. Oh, smells delicious. So we're gonna set that aside, and we've got a couple more minutes left on our timer for our salmon and our asparagus. And then it will be ready to plate. While our salmon and asparagus are cooking, let's talk a little bit about the nutrition of salmon. Salmon can play actually a crucial role in your longevity journey. Why? It's packed with high quality protein and also heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids. This yummy fish will support your brain function as well as reduce inflammation in your body and help support your cardiovascular health. There was a study that was done in 2024 and published in the Journal of Nutrition. It was conducted by researchers at the University of Colorado, the Anschutz Medical Campus. What these investigators did was they looked at all the specific compounds in salmon that will contribute to its health and longevity benefits. And they identified there are 508 different compounds in salmon. And of those 508, 48 of these were shown to increase in the participants' blood after they consumed at least 2 servings of salmon a week in conjunction with a Mediterranean diet. But more importantly, they found that there were 2 salmon-specific compounds that were associated with an improvement in longevity and cardiometabolic health. They help to lower the total cholesterol, lower the LDL cholesterol, lower the blood triglycerides, and lower the ApoB levels. ApoB levels are an indicator of your risk for heart disease. If you scroll down and want the link to this study, I have put it in the area below this video. Our timer just went off, so let's check to see if our fish and our asparagus is done. It smells done, and it looks fabulous. You can check it with an instant read thermometer also to make sure that the center of your salmon is at least 139 to 140 degrees. Our asparagus, I like my asparagus a little bit on the crunchy side, which is it's tender but still a little bit crunchy here. We are ready to plate all of our delicious food here. Start with some of our cauliflower mash. This recipe makes enough for 2 people. Got a nice amount of cauliflower mash there. Maybe a little more than we need. Some for leftovers. Always like having leftovers. And some asparagus. And our salmon. Add a little garnish of dill here to our mashed potatoes and our salmon. And I like to also squeeze a little bit of lemon on top of their salmon. That crust looks a little dry, and when you squeeze some nice lemon on top of it, it soaks into that crust and just adds a nice lemon deliciousness to your fish. And you can add a couple of lemon wedges as well, in case whoever you're serving it to likes lots of lemon. And we'll add some nice lemon to this one as well. If you like some lemon on your asparagus, add some to your asparagus. And lastly, I like to add a little bit of butter to the heart of that cauliflower mash. Just like a little pat of butter. So there you have it, a restaurant-worthy herb-crusted salmon with cauliflower mash. Not only does it smell delicious, but it will also taste delicious and support your longevity lifestyle. So don't forget to give it a 2 thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, as well as turn on your notifications. Your support will help us continue to create healthy longevity content that will nourish both your body and your soul. When you go to my website, growwithdrjonette.com, you're going to find there lots of tips on how to incorporate not just delicious, healthy, boosting meals into your daily routine, but you will also find lifestyle tips as well as expert advice to help you on your journey to a longer, healthier life. So let's go ahead and see how it tastes. I'm going to give the cauliflower a little taste. Wow. If you like mashed potatoes, you are going to love cauliflower mash. That is delicious. And the best part is it's low carb. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week on your longevity channel.